What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. $3 parlay here for week 14, the Tallahassee edition. You got myself, Graham, with my co host, Michael. We're both ropping Tallahassee schools right here. Ready to have a good time and make everybody a shit ton of money. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Let me put on my other piece of Tallahassee attire. There we go.
Ooh,
There
look
we
at
go.
that hat.
This episode is actually sponsored by Ken's. So I'm going to put the hoodie back on, but I'm going to make sure not to cover up our title sponsor.
Yep.
And really just let you guys know that Wednesday, dollar drinks, and Thursday is ladies' night. So come on out to all our viewers, support our patrons, and just keep us rolling here.
Yeah, and mention $3 parlay at Ken's, and you will get a free mug. You don't have to get the whole mug day experience.
Correct.
So that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that for sure.
Yes.
Well, I guess while I'm pulling this up, how'd you feel about your bets this week?
Man, so last week I was making them down in Orlando, but I felt really good about them. And I remember saying that as we were signing off, I felt really, really good about my
But let's
bets.
be fair. I mean, have we ever signed off and you said that you didn't feel really good about
There
this
was
bet?
one week. There was
Okay.
1 week where I was like, "Oh, yikes!" But it's pretty typical for me to say I'm going to go 5 for 5.
Yeah.
But last week, come on, shooters shoot. I've never seen a
Boy.
shot that I don't like. I've never seen a base hit that I don't like. Turns out it was nowhere close to that. To a degree. I kind of got backdoored by Kansas City, Miami.
That sucked so much.
But I will say that I deserved it because the game went the opposite of how I thought it was going to go. I said I didn't think Miami was going to be able to force any turnovers in the game, which is how they score a lot of their points. What happens? They pick off Patrick Mahomes twice, and I think they get a turnover one more. I don't know if it was a fumble or and I guess it would have to be. But yeah, I think they had
this is the area where, like, if we had the production value to be able to put this in, we'd show you saying that.
Correct.
And then we'd show, like,
and then
them
you show
turning
me
the ball over.
making the pick. You're right. Yeah.
And then you'd show me saying, I don't know, man, like, this Miami defense has been really good against some of the top teams. Like,
yeah. But the other part, that I kind of wanted to hit on is Kansas City turned the ball over at least 2 times, or Patrick Mahomes, I know, turned it over twice, and they still were super close to covering it. They pretty much gave up the field goal at the end. Yeah. They gave it up at the end, and then Miami had to go for the onside to try for a Hail Mary. So, it didn't turn out how I thought it was going to be. It was still close. Other than that, New Orleans, Philly was the opposite. I don't even want to talk about it because it still makes me hurt on the inside. I thought New Orleans was going to run away with this. And man, Jalen Hurts, and you said it again. I mean, you blew my picks up. Jalen Hurts looks great. He looked fantastic. And Miles Sanders was the first rusher to put up 100 yards on that New Orleans team.
But you started the week really strong, though, with that Pats Rams game, putting $3 on it, and starting out at 573.
And that really kept me afloat. I'm glad to say that I'm still climbing towards that $100 mark. Brought home, what was it, $4 just about on the week.
$3.09. Yeah,
close enough. Yeah, round up.
Okay, we'll round all the way up.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
And I do feel really bad about that Browns money line pick.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about this because as I was doing my recap, I was looking at the Sunday games. Oh man,
what a game!
That was the game of the season. It absolutely was the game of the season.
I shit you not, that was the game of the season.
Yeah,
there's no shit about it.
And yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, I could give you 2 reasons why it was the game of the season. Man, but we were texting about it. If I had taken the over like I originally wanted,
you'd had that in the first quarter.
I mean, it hurts. But again, I kind of swung big. I stepped up to the throne. And put my money on the Browns. Right? Yeah. I mean, this game was about the Browns.
It was, and taking a look at it, I mean, the bets that weren't odds-on favorites, you took 2 of those instead of normally you're taking 1, if not none of those. So they're not huge hits. you stuck to your guns on that first one, so it ended up being not a great week, but you didn't lose money. You're still climbing.
Yeah. And meanwhile, missed both of my games on the parlay. FSU Duke.
Yeah.
Wasn't anywhere close to under 57. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about my picks. Normally, I love talking about them. Let's just move on to yours.
Yeah, I mean, mine weren't that good this year. They were actually really fucking great. Where do I even want to begin here? I mean, Bills -2 over the Steelers. That was easy. I mean, like I told you, take your 401k out, put it towards that. That's nothing. I told you Georgia, Missouri was just going to be a offensive just shootout back and forth. Georgia seems to have found their quarterback, and I'm really interested to see this Georgia Clemson game to kick off next year because that's going to be one hell of a game. Army Navy, without a doubt. I mean, shit, they doubled the spread. Didn't even let Navy score any points this week. And then, I mean, really the one that probably I'm most proud of that was honestly the tastiest is this UNC at Miami.
Yep.
It was pretty much a pick 'em 1-2 point game. And UNC kept it pretty close. I mean, they blew out Miami by about 40 something points.
I don't even honestly remember what it was. I do want to say
breaking news: North Carolina just scored another touchdown.
Yeah, and they just ran for another 100 yards.
Holy shit!
I had this. I want to pat myself on the back. I had this game. I remember saying it that I had UNC money line as well. So I'm glad at least we both agreed and it came true. In other news, Army Navy was under again. And I remember saying that as well. Rule of thumb on that game is you take the under.
Yep.
It's hit the past 8 years in a row.
How long has America been alive?
Right. Yeah. I mean, at least like 25 years. Yeah.
And I got to say, I'm pretty disappointed in my two favorite red teams in Rutgers and Maryland for only getting to 51 points. They were so close. They could have got it. They could have made it a clean sweep. But your boy did have a parlay that hit this week.
Cha-ching.
Kansas City at Miami over 49. That was easy. It was money. We told you that.
Yep.
And then, this was put on here wrong. I actually had LSU money line on here.
Plus 300.
Plus 23.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat there and probably talked for 30 minutes about how LSU is going to come into this game ready to play because it's a rivalry game. And, lo and behold, they won this game outright. And that was probably the most happy I've been about a game in a while.
Could you say that they're a shoe-in to be a contender next year?
Boy, that's a good way to put it. That's a good. I'll tell you what, they're definitely a shoe-in, at least for my Hall of Fame for picks here on this show. All right. Well,
so here we go. Yeah, I mean, so far, which is good. I mean, both of us were positive. You definitely closed the gap a little bit with a $14 pick 5 week, and then you also hit that parlay. So we both have 3 parlays on the season, which I believe should still keep us around even, right? Again, you're not going to hit every parlay, but that's kind of the name of the game is, swing big, win big.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we'll let you start again. This week you went ahead and took the Thursday night football game before this all went down. So go ahead and what do you got?
So I'm going to take the over on this Thursday night football game. Let me just find out where it is so I can make sure to put it in. I have it at over 52.0 at my computers. There we go. At -115 odds. So I didn't get great odds. It actually moved as I was typing it in, and I like to be current with my picks. So I was keeping an eye on this right before kickoff. It did move to 52.0 and -115, but man, it's really not looking good right now. We're at where are we in the game?
It's 7-3 right now. A couple minutes
start of the second, essentially.
If you still like that as a pick, you can get live odds right now for they just changed. Live odds 47.5 for -115 for the over.
Let's do it.
A second ago it was 51.5 for +150.
Let's do 47.5. I like it. I appreciate you sticking with me. And it's -110 or 115?
-115 still.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'll take the live. Let me make sure that we even put this in here just in case I forget. I'm just going to put L, and that'll be our reminder
for a lock. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And you've already assigned $2 budget to that too.
Correct. Yep, correct. And I'll go ahead and put that in.
Oh, it just changed. Oh man, it's a good thing we just did this. Oh boy. Oh boy, it just changed. You've already locked this in for yourself at minus
There we
150.
go.
It
There
just
we
changed
go.
live to minus 105. So this is craziness. This is madness.
We are
Might as well be
locked in.
March. Might as well be March. Yeah. So talk a little bit about this one. Why'd you take this?
Look, Oakland looked fantastic the last couple weeks on offense, at least in my opinion. Derek Carr's looked surprisingly pretty good. The line is lower than I think most people would have expected. It opened up at 55, and then there's news that Keenan Allen's probably not going to play for the Chargers, and I think they're also going to be potentially without maybe Hunter Henry or another receiver. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're not in Oakland anymore. But this is a Chargers team that has given up at least 27 points for the last 4 or 5 weeks. This Las Vegas defense.
Well, I mean, they didn't last week, but okay, go ahead.
Well, this Las Vegas defense is also looking pretty suspect against a pretty good Chargers offense. Originally at 52, I thought that, maybe we would get a touchdown by each team every quarter, put it over easily. So far, not looking great, but again, I'm not worried. I think that there'll be a big quarter, maybe a big 2 quarters, and hopefully this will cover pretty easily.
I'm very glad that you made this pick and not me, because I'm watching this live line right now, and it's just giving me so much anxiety watching it go from
you can't do it. It changes
plus 130 to now minus 120.
It changes like
exact over.
It changes like every single play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got that one for your first one. I guess let me get off of the live page and take a look at here and just say, look, there's not a lot of college football games this week. We got a lot of these championship games, and I don't know. It makes it really tough to pick these. So I think I'm going to start out here on the NFL side, to be quite frank. And I'm just going to go with what I know. I'm going to take Kansas City at New Orleans. Okay. I'm going to take the over on this one at 51 and a half. Yep. And it's 110. Look, guys, Kansas City's really good. They got a really good offense. They've got probably one of the top 5 defensive quarterbacks in the NFL. They just score a lot of points. That's it. Tyreek Hill's fast as shit.
Yeah,
New Orleans is going to score some points. I guess Drew Brees is going to come back and probably still get hurt and not play well, and then they'll go to Jameis, and Jameis will finally dig them out of the well. But I did not like the way that New Orleans looked against Philly last week. I think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder, and I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. So
you took this, and I'm a little bit upset about it. My what I wanted to be the tastiest pick was going to be Saints money line at 150. At positive 150, but that's okay. That's okay. That's the name of the game. Again, I mean, this Saints team, I think, is sneakier than expected on the defense. And I keep saying this, Quan Alexander's revamped this team. Their defensive backs are looking great, and it's at the Saints. It's going to be on turf. That does change things a little bit. At plus 150 for a 3-point spread, just to take the money line.
Against the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the Saints are top 4 in the NFL, right? Wouldn't you say?
No, I wouldn't, but that's just me. I've just seen them collapse too many times in the playoffs.
I would say right now, if you had to do a power rankings, it'd go Chiefs, Packers, and then tied for 3rd would be Saints and Steelers.
No, I'd put the Bills in there.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, I'll agree to that. So Saints are top 5.
I think the Steelers and the Saints are about the same.
Yeah.
And just that they're really good against the teams that they should be really good against.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. Okay, I'm good for that. Let's see here. Let's man, I have so many games that I like. This one, you know what? I didn't pick it last week, and I regretted it, and it would have hit. So I'm going to go ahead and lock mine in. It's going to be my Green Bay Packers. It's going to be Panthers, not Panthers, Panthers at Packers. Packers -8, -110. No CMC. Where the Panthers going to score 25 points, because the Packers are scoring their 32 that they average. Where the Panthers scoring 25? How are they going to score 3 times?
Panthers really haven't had CMC all year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no, you're right. You're right.
Points.
But this is a Packers team who, when they need to, they can take long, sustaining drives, 12, 13, 14 plays, half of a quarter. They can also score in 3. Where the Panthers, I don't know. It's a big spread. It's a big spread. But this Packers team is ramped up.
So I had this game on my sheet twice.
Okay.
I had one for the Panthers to cover the 8-point spread, just because that's a pretty large spread. The other I had, if you took my tastiest pick of the week, which you haven't, I had that as the uber tasty pick of the week at Carolina Moneyline.
Oh, my goodness. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself.
This is a Packers trap game. Aaron Rodgers is feeling great that he silenced all the haters and they've got the number 1 seed, and they're going to come in here and lose this game.
Don't do that to me. Don't even do that. This Packers team, they're first in the NFC. They're going to make sure that they keep the pedal to the metal, get another game lead when potentially the Chiefs beat the Saints and go 2 games up. Well, I guess they're tied right now.
Even though they have the Saints are going to beat the Chiefs?
Potentially. But I just think the Packers are going to go in with that mindset. That's what I'm going with. 8 points.
Right. Well, look, if there's somebody that I know that's more patriotic than Aaron Rodgers, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, I don't know who it would be. And speaking of patriotic, this next game that I got right here, I'm going back to the well of what I know. I mean, I'm just feeling really good about these armed forces. I got Air Force at Army. Take an Army money line at 125 odds. You can take that, put it in your pipe, and smoke it. This Army team looked incredible. So I've heard this weekend. They held Navy to 0 points. This is the Air Force. I mean, they're not going to be able to throw on Army.
The Air Force is bad. Yeah, Air Force is bad. But that game was also. Did you see how much fog there was? You could barely see the game.
No, I was in the middle of nowhere and didn't really have cell phone signal.
Well, you didn't miss anything. Just stare at some fog. Get out of the shower too fast after a really hot shower.
Yeah.
And look at your window or your mirror. Sorry, and that's what the game looked like. You didn't miss anything. You're A-okay.
If that's what my TV looked like, I tell you what, I'd probably kick it, because that's exactly what that LSU Florida game looked like. And well, we know how that turned out.
All right, let's. I'm really loyal to certain teams, and when I want to put a little pop quiz on you. When you think of a college football team that I've been loyal to all season, who's the first team that comes to your mind?
It's the ECU Pirates.
No.
It's the Temple Owls.
It's going to be the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Oh.
It is going to be the Conference USA Championship. Tulsa versus Cincy. I didn't put an at because I think this game's on a neutral field, or it's at Cincy. I wasn't sure. Either way, I'm taking under 45 points. Cincy's defense way too good. They're looking for one of those defense. They're at least top 10. Yeah. 45 points, not a lot. That's 22 points each team, but sheesh. I mean, come on.
We've got some more breaking news here, and I really hate to have to bring this on here, but according to my sources, quarterback Derek Carr is injured and has been ruled questionable to return to the game.
That is void.
I don't think that's how that works.
You know what? I'm not even worried about it because Marcus Mariota is a Heisman. Oh, and look at that. They scored a touchdown. So now we're at 10-7. And we have 8 minutes left in the second. This is looking fantastic.
There you go.
This is looking great.
It's easy. All right. Let's see what I got here. You inspired me a couple weeks ago when you made that really interesting pick where you took who was going to score first, and then it took about
I've got another one.
3 days for that to happen. I think I'm going to dip my toe into that game a little bit right here.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you know this or not, but even though they were about a foot short from actually winning the game, Alabama still has to play Florida in the SEC championship game.
They do.
And, I think I'm going to take the first half under 37.5 points.
Interesting.
In big games like this, Nick Saban his teams always start slow.
Okay.
He always seems to sit there and try to figure out, what's your game plan? Because I've gone ahead and put together about 7 different game plans because we've got 100 different people on staff that can look at all this shit. And the first quarter is typically pretty slow moving.
Even with the script?
Even with the script, because their script is really just more of like, hey, we'll run some stuff out there, but we're looking to see what you give us, right? It's normally in the second half where they kind of put the foot to their throat and kind of take them out. So I think this is going to be a pretty low scoring first half of the game. Still that's almost 20 points a team. Alabama's got a pretty good defense. Florida they have a bad defense, but
they do.
They at least get turnovers.
I think that the book has been out on this Alabama explosive play offense. And I think that Florida is a good enough team with a good enough scheme and coaching and athletes that
they're pissed as hell.
They can limit. Yeah, I mean, they're also pissed as hell. Yeah.
So expect this to be 0-0 at half.
They need a statement. Sure. Yeah. Makes sense. I don't know if I love it. But say the odds one more time.
-105.
Oh yeah, okay. I love it. Perfect. And just to do another probably the most important conference championship game out there. I just want to have my skin in the game on this one. Clemson, Notre Dame. Trevor Lawrence is back. I'm taking over 60 points. We saw what they did in their first matchup. Ian Book played the game of his life. Do I expect that again? No. Do I expect even Notre Dame to win? No, probably not. I wouldn't bet on them. But 30 points each team, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I mean, Clemson with Trevor Lawrence is a completely different team. Meanwhile, Notre Dame normally relies on their defense. Didn't look great the last time they played, even with a backup quarterback in. I mean, I know that backup quarterback was 5 stars, and his dad had the circumference of like 25 stars. But this game's going to go over 60, right? I mean, if you had to pick over under, you're not going to choose. You're not going to choose.
I would take the under.
You would take the. Oh my goodness gracious!
I've also got Notre Dame covering. I mean, this is the second time these two teams have seen each other, so a lot of the stuff that they would typically be able to use for big chunk plays or to get big scores, it's not necessarily going to be there. I mean, they're familiar with the teams enough that it's going to end up being a lower scoring game because it's going to be more of a chess match than anything.
I don't think so. I think both of these offenses they're the 3 best offenses in the nation behind Alabama, or maybe, in the same conversation as Alabama on good days. Probably not Notre Dame, but at least Clemson. I mean, it was such a high scoring game. You add in Trevor, 60 points. Come on. I mean, you don't want to take an under in a conference championship game and be stressing every time a team scores. I'm trying to knock back some nice Coors Lights at Ken's Tavern and just cheer every time a team scores.
Sure. Yeah. Just tell everybody that you went to Clemson and you went to Notre Dame as well. You're just a big fan of both. You just love the sport. I mean,
correct. Yeah, I just want both teams to have fun.
Yeah. Well, I hear you about that. Get a nice cold Coors Light. Go to Ken's Tavern. Get your mug that you got from the $3 Parlay podcast. And what ends up happening is after you have a couple of those, I don't know if you're like me, I get the munchies. I get those crunchies. I gotta eat something. And normally I just want something that's so tasty. I don't care how bad it is for me. I don't care how it's going to really make me feel.
It might be a gut box. It might be McDonald's.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, it might be Uber Eats. You name it. But yeah, I mean, we're talking tasty.
And that's how I feel about this Tasty's Pick of the Week. Is it's tasty because of what it could potentially give you as far as to win. But I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it while I'm eating it. I don't feel good about it the day after, knowing the results. But you gotta put some money on the line here. I got Chicago at Minnesota. I don't even know how to spell that right, but I don't care. And I got Chicago money line.
Oh my goodness gracious! I'm gonna hold off giving my opinion because I have this in my parlay.
So originally I had Chicago to cover +3 at even odds.
Okay.
But the way that Minnesota's been playing, not that Chicago's been playing well either, this could very well end up being a 9-6 game.
Oh, that'd be a high scoring game. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Dalvin Cook's out there just, on vacation right now, but I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't feel good. It's tasty as hell. Like looking at that line, thinking, man, I could make some serious money off of this, but you're not going to feel good about it.
Let's see. So I'll go ahead and I'll give my opinion on it while we're here. I was going to take an alternate line on this. I was going to take the Vikings -6.5 to give me positive 140 odds.
See, and I like that just as much. I could see that.
And yeah, and geez, and I'm searching Chicago Bears player news on their D line because they have that one D lineman who, what's his name, Hicks or Nix? It's Hicks. They're a D tackle who was an absolute game changer, shut down Dalvin Cook the first time that they played. So I'm searching Chicago Bears player news defensive line, and the first thing that pops up is Mario Edwards Jr., who's a national championship FSU alumni, is charged with assault 2 days ago.
Oh, well, that's not
misdemeanor assault after an incident with a woman. It's misdemeanor, but it was the night before they played the Panthers. I just want to see if Hicks is going to play because without him, and this is going back to the Green Bay game, without him, Green Bay, who's a good offense, but not nearly as good of a running offense as the Vikings, was able to have their way. I want to say that Aaron Jones was close to 200, or at least the Packers offense was close to 200 as a team. Let's see, I can't find anything, but let me just search Akeem Hicks.
While you're doing that, we'll just take a quick second. Thanks everybody for listening to the $3 Packers Parlay podcast. It's all Packers all the time. That's all we talk about here. Really appreciate everybody that's standing in here.
It is,
because it's tough times for Packers fans right now.
I mean, my picks didn't go well, so I had to find some way to plug in my own personal life. And I wasn't able to kind of drill down all day today and really, go to town.
Yeah.
On these picks,
Yeah.
Pound them out. Okay, I'm looking right here. Akeem Hicks hamstring questionable. So
he's playing.
Ooh, yeah. And this was December 4th. Why is this so? Okay, well, I'm still sticking with it. You know what? Screw it. I don't even feel like spending this much time. Let's go ahead. Let's get this last pick and then.
Are you sure it's December 4th of this year?
Might be like 3 years ago.
What do you got for your last one?
Oh man, I'm kind of torn. I mean, I'm enjoying these college games because it is championship weekend.
Yeah.
But do I want to go back into the NFL? Because that's kind of where I'm doing a little bit better on this season. Oh man, are you going to take this? Are you going to take the Big Ten Northwestern Ohio State game?
I have a line that I like in there, but I don't know if I'm going to take it.
So I'm looking at Ohio State -20. That's the spread right now.
I'm the complete opposite of that.
Are you?
Yeah.
I think Ohio State's going to try to jump up into that 2 versus 3 game. Well, obviously they will because either Clemson or Notre Dame will lose.
Northwestern's got a hell of a defense, and Ohio State struggled against Indiana's defense. That's the only thing I think they'll just be able to keep it close.
Yeah, but I mean Northwestern is bad. Is like okay, so Northwestern has a good defense. I agree to that. If Northwestern scores 10 points, I still think Ohio State can score over 30. I still like over 4 quarters. I think Ohio State can score over 30 points.
All right, we'll take it then.
No, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to go with something that I know
that hard and then not put your money where your mouth is.
I know, right? I'm going to go something that I know even less about, but I like this team. I like this team. Let me see. Where's my paste? There we go. It is going to be Marshall -5 points.
Wow.
Against UAB. Great odds, -105. Marshall's ranked Okay, that's about the extent of my knowledge. But guess what? It's my money, and I'm betting it. And I think that my track record shows that you always bet on the ranked team versus an unranked team.
That's just statistics.
That's statistics. And listen, this is the if there's a tasty pick, this might be the under marinated chicken breast with brown rice pick of the week. I'm talking the most bland pick that you can get because there's no fun in this, but I still like it at minus 105.
I can't tell you a single thing about this.
I
Other
couldn't
than
either.
looking
you
at
know
this,
what?
you set yourself up nicely to be either excited or disappointed every single night this week, considering this is a Friday night game.
Yeah, and actually, I was looking at that too. I was like, "Damn it, I need something to cheer for." Okay, let me see. I need to figure out this Hakeem Nicks if he's playing.
Oh, I mean, boy, this is.
I'm locked in. Bears injury report 4 hours ago on Bleacher Report. Go ahead and do your fifth pick, and I'm just going to ignore everything you say and find out if Hakeem Nicks is playing or not.
Yeah, that's fine. That's probably well worth your time. I got a couple of college picks that I really like, but let's see. You're looking at here. I got 2 and 2. What do I feel the best about?
Okay, so I found it. Hakeem Hicks is non-injury resting, and he was limited on Thursday. He did not practice Wednesday. And let's see, Khalil Mack did not practice today either
They'll be fine.
with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried. You know how worried I'm not worried?
And it's Bears at Vikings. Come on.
Yeah,
At the Vikings?
inside.
Oh, I had it the wrong way. I had Vikings at Bears. I'm definitely taking this alternate money line.
This last one I got right here is Bills at Broncos.
Yeah, you love the Bills.
Bills -6. I mean, how can you not? This team is so good. Like, seriously, how can you not like the Bills? They beat the shit out of the Steelers, which we all knew was going to happen because they were frauds. And if you listen to the podcast, you take Washington at Pittsburgh money line to the bank, and you make a ton of money. It's the same thing right here. The Broncos have so many injuries; they're not really playing for anything. The Bills are looking to make a splash and get back to the Super Bowl and win it for their fans. I mean, that's what you do it for. That's easily top 5 TikTok account in the NFL.
They do have a good TikTok account.
You can't dispute
I'll give it to him. All right. So let's switch back here. Yeah. So I've got $2 already on the live over 47.5, which leaves me $8 between the two. I'm going to go with my max, and it hurt me last week, but guess what? Short-term memory. I have this in my $3 parlay, and I'm going to go with $3 on my Packers covering an 8-point spread, which leaves me $5 between the two. Let's go ahead and do a 1.5er, a 1.5er, and a $2 on the game that, look, it's my money and I want it now on this minus 105 Marshall covering the spread. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I love it. I want some more of it.
You just look here. I mean,
I'm talking ramen, like ramen noodles. But then I accidentally tried to open the seasoning packet and it spilt all over. And so now I have to eat ramen noodles without any seasoning. Like, I'm talking bland.
Okay. Well, when you only win $3.09, I guess you try to keep it as safe as possible and just take the.
I thought we rounded it up to 4.
Well, some of us did. Not all of us. But it's a decent little week. $19 is what we're averaging. That Packers game, man, you're gonna be extra sad when that doesn't come true.
Oh, I'm gonna be so sad.
Let's see here. I got $2 here off the bat on this Air Force at Army game. I feel really good about this Bills team. My Bills are gonna win the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna be so excited. So excited. I've always been a Bills fan. Everybody knows that. You talk to everybody, they know I'm a Bills fan.
You're a super fan.
We got $5 put right here. I'm gonna go with $1 on this game, this tasty game right here. And then
there still is great payout.
I think I end up doing
It'll win you,
Yeah.
to win 350.
Get this right here.
Go ahead and change this for you.
And that's how we do it. Yeah, let's go with that right there.
So this should be, so $1 will win you $1.25. So that's $2.25. So this will be $4.50 on that game. Yeah.
Look at that, $21.43. That's a lot.
That's a lot of money. I mean, honestly, let's switch back to the summary board really quick before we completely jump into our parlays. But I hear you back there, man. I hear you. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, let's not get it twisted. I'm still out in front.
Yeah.
But I hear
It's gonna hurt when you lose $10 this week. I mean, that'll really help my position.
It's gonna hurt really bad. Yeah, that would.
So you've already got your parlay already built right here. You got the Panthers at the Packers and the Bears at the Vikings. And if you guys didn't know, the only NFL football that Michael watches is the NFC North.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
So, and I wanted to make that comment was this is an NFC North parlay. This is it.
I got that. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking bread and butter, old school football.
The only thing more NFC North than this would be Indiana, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Taking it out again.
Yeah. First team to score there. That was fun. That was a fun thing. So I'm taking the alternate line here. Is it 3.0 or 3.5? I want to say it's 3.0 last we looked. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the Bears a few more points as a cushion. Keep it under that touchdown mark, but still, come on, 140. Let's hit this parlay. NFC.
Yeah, and the Vikings win by 6.
Oh man,
tough break.
Don't say that.
All right, well, let's see here. But
then that ruins your money line. So you don't want that.
So, boy. I want to take this Northwestern plus 20, but I got to make some money. And when you need money and you need it quick, you got to go to the ATM. And I got this Texas A&M at Tennessee game over 51 points.
Oh, okay. So I had A&M covering the 14.
Yeah. No, I just think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Do you? Against this good top 5 NFL defense on ATM?
Yes, against this good defense. Yes. Not great, just good. That's all they are.
Okay. So minus 110, and then
what
are we doing for the second leg?
This is tough. I don't want to be all out on Saturday and just be done. So I think I'm going to take me a little something on Sunday as well. Boy, and I think I'm going to take New England at Miami. I'm taking New England money line.
I like this. Yeah. I like
it. You're not going to beat Belichick twice. I'm sorry.
No, and here's the other thing. When I look at New England this year, they are the blueprint of a 8-8, 500 football team. They are going to win a game, lose a game. And I think I even said this last week on the podcast. They're going to win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, go on a 2-game win streak, go on a 2-game losing streak. And, they lost last week. That's what they've done. Yeah. And, I mean, Miami looked great against Kansas City. What is Belichick going to do? If anyone, and now I'm jinxing it, if anybody's going to learn from how Miami scores their points, and it's through turnovers, it's going to be Belichick. It's going to be Cam keeping the ball on the ground, handing it off, throwing it, Hail Mary 4 or 5 yards down the field. Yeah.
So that's what I got right there on my parlay.
Okay. So your parlay, I mean, it's cute. It's got a 105. So, I can't bash you for not having any positive odds, but you're not looking at the whale.
That's right. You missed both of yours last week. Yep, that's right. I forgot.
If you're going to miss, you might as well miss them both. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, if you're going to miss, you might as well take a teaser and just get really, really unlikely odds and just put that in the parlay. As if it wasn't hard enough to hit, a parlay, you might as well just make it even more tough.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
all right.
That's what we got for this week in Michael's Chase for 100. We'll see how how close he gets or how far away he gets. And we'll see you guys back here next week. We'll have some bowl games coming through.
Let's just go ahead and say one more thing.
Okay.
We did decide that we're going to extend our NFL college football into bowl season and playoffs, but I want to keep our weekly totals, or at least the chase for 100, just to week 17. Let's see what we can do. And then if I don't hit it, then when I don't hit it, we'll extend it so I can get 100.
No, 100%. I guess what I was saying was, because if you looked, I mean, there's bowl games next week.
Oh.
So, there's not going to be other college football games to pick. So to have, a pool that we can pick through these next several weeks, we'll have NFL and bowl games.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Again, shout out to
sponsor Ken's.
Yep, Ken's Tavern on West Tennessee Street.
Go get your mug. Tell them we sent you. Tell them Michael Serio sent you, and enjoy.
Cheers.